Chase Thomas podcast. My nephew needs me to record. See, I already hate it. I hate it.
All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chase Thomas podcast from still the aforementioned Chase Thomas, coming to you live from Knoxville, Tennessee, Everything School HQ. Joining me over there from Rocky Top Insider, big time Rocky Top Insider Zone, lowdown co-host with Chris Lowe this week, talking to Dale Jones, everything else. It's primetime Ryan Schumpert here. Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate that kind introduction. It was funny. We recorded that at I think 6 p.m. Eastern time when we got going, and you know, as you know, Chase, oftentimes if the Cubs are playing on a Monday night, I got the game on in the background, and I'm glaring over there. You know, Titans were getting their just brains beat out, and you know, Chris was nice enough to ask me to join the show, so I said, you know what? I'll turn it off. I'm not gonna have anything to distract me. I'll lock in, and then the Titans proceed to put together a crazy comeback, and my phone is just blowing up. And I had the little ESPN notification banner, you know, that shows up on your phone. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I mean, yeah, I turn it off. Like, I can't stand it. I keep that off. You know how I watch stuff behind schedule all the time? True. Yeah, I keep it off.
I can't do that. I cannot do stuff behind. But yeah, so I had that, and I was kind of getting updates, you know, seeing some updates. I got when the interception, fumble, touchdown play happened, I genuinely got, I think, like 15 texts in 30 seconds in all the group Titans group chats. But then I got off in time to watch the game-winning drive. So that was a fun little twist. Apparently the Titans just need me to for sure not be watching. And then they need me to for sure not be watching. And they need the other team to forget how to play football. And then they can eke one out.
There you go. You heard it here first. Ryan Schumpert, if he actually loved the Tennessee Titans, is not watching another game the rest of the season.
Well, the thing you forget about is I need the other team to forget how to play football.
It's possible.
It's true.
Titans are a playoff team if you actually commit to the bit.
I've committed. Trust me, the Titans have been so bad last year, especially, that I was taking my afternoon nap by mid third quarter in many of the games last year, and it didn't help.
Yeah, well, it was a weird weekend for me. No Vols, no Falcons, obviously no Braves in the postseason. It's just a weird football watching weekend, but it was a getaway in Chattanooga. Where did you go to the game on Saturday?
Nice. No.
Okay.
Did you go?
No, but I forgot. Like, it was going on.
You were in Chattanooga?
Yes, but it was not for that. It was a weekend getaway with my wife. It was not.
Let's go watch the Vols inter-squad scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a tough. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I was off the grid, man, this weekend. Like, it was just you gotta be present. Like, I'm present. Like, my wife puts up with a lot with my sports and everything else that I do. So I'm like, no, I'm present this weekend. So I was off the grid.
You should have said, let's go scout David Gabriel on Friday night. Let's go.
Well, I actually did go to a football game on Friday night. I did go to see Calhoun. I crossed the Georgia line. I was back and forth between Tennessee and Georgia on Friday night. Built different, man. I went down to go see Clay Stevenson and the Calhoun boys at the Yellow Jackets here in North Georgia, and I went back across the line. But yeah, it was great. The game this weekend. I mean, there was it's pretty wild. Like, I was seeing guys out here with Macaulay hats, like walking around downtown, like on the next day. Shout out to the Chattanooga Public Library. Got in there for a couple hours on Saturday afternoon. It's great.
To do what?
Read.
Y'all just went there and read?
No, I went by myself. Wife.
You did this whole thing about being present with your wife all weekend. And then the time that the baseball game was happening, you were at the Chattanooga Library reading.
Yes, 100%.
By yourself.
Yes. My wife went to a movie, Strangers Part 2, with one of her best friends, and she did that, and I was like, all right, I got a couple hours to kill, and I went over and made my walk, got my steps in, and read for 2 hours at the Chattanooga Public Library. It's great. You know me. That's very on brand for me.
That does sound like a great day. It, you know, for a guy that claims to watch every sort of game that happens, I guess if you're just watching the 15-minute recap videos anyway. I guess it's
very aggressive.
Well, I don't know. That was not aggressive. That was actually me defending you, because I think that's what you said on the radio.
Well, I read everything, and then I also and then I watch the recaps, the thing I need to watch. But I also tape some games. Like, some games get priority, some don't. So like, I watched a lot of Penn State, UCLA. Like I really wanted to lock in there, but yeah, I mean, like I'm
It
not
just
locked.
seems strange for, again, I don't know how you have all the time to do all these things, as I've said in the past. You punted
Built
on
different.
3 hours of that time on
I
Saturday
did.
on a football
It was just
Saturday.
nice. Like it wasn't that weekend. I was just not in a sports mode this weekend.
Some people are built different, I guess, and
Sometimes you
you're
need a break, man, to
not one of
recharge.
them.
Like you needed a recharge, and like with everybody off, I'm not gonna have a weekend like this where no Falcons, no Vols, and
That's the beauty of the off weekend. You
Can
just
I
don't
tell
have
you
to
though, there were
be
so many
anxious,
Tennessee fans
stressed.
at this game. Like I didn't realize what was happening because we got in downtown, and it was just it was one of those where it was almost impossible to find parking, and I was just like, y'all got to go. Like this is an inter squad scrimmage. Sorry, we're full. Like parking decks are full.
Like 4,500 people.
Yeah,
inter-squad scrimmage, crazy.
But shout out to Tennessee Vol fans. Like it's just different. Can you imagine telling Tennessee football fans 10 years ago that there are going to be 4,500 Vol fans on the middle of October during football season? They're going to make the trip from Knoxville and wherever else to go watch an inter squad scrimmage at the Chattanooga Lookout Stadium on October 4th or whatever it was. Like all afternoon. That's what they did. It's great. Like it's just a testament. Vitel's just built a juggernaut, and it's just But I couldn't blame him. I'm like, if it was any other weekend, I would want to go and just go see it.
If it was any other weekend besides the weekend where Tennessee had a bye week and I was naturally in the city with nothing to do that the game was at, I would have gone.
I was trying to take a break from sports as a whole. Like we went to Ruby Falls Saturday morning. That was nice. Hadn't been since I was a little kid. I thought there were more than one falls. It's actually Ruby Fall. And it needs to be rebranded. It's Ruby Fall. It's not Ruby Falls. It's a Ruby Fall.
Mickey Mouse Falls situation.
Yeah, it's Ruby Fall. Ruby Fall. Also, there are people like we're in this age, and I promise folks we're going to get into Tennessee football stuff here. But there are people who record from the beginning of the tour to the end. And it's just, what are you doing? Like you ruined the experience for everybody because you just started there is a person just holding their phone up, walking from the beginning of this hour-plus long tour to the very end. I'm like, you're not going back to watch all that. It's not happening. It's ridiculous.
That is absurd.
Like just holding it up, just the whole line. Like we're in a line. It's all tight down there in Ruby Falls. And what are we doing? You're not going back and looking at this whole thing. What are you doing? Stop it. Like it should be you crazy. Lose phone privileges. Like you're out of here, man. Like we should be tossing people where it's like, what are you doing? You're not going back to watch that. There's no chance. Like take maybe a 30 second. Once we get to the falls, let's do that. You can do, but what are you doing? What are you doing? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It got me so hot. I'm just like,
I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, that is crazy. There's no argument here for me. I just can't wait to go. I need to go listen back and see what the "What are you doing" count was in that rant because it was electric.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's just, it got me fired up, man. Like I was hot. I was just like, this has got to stop because you just ruin it for everybody. Where I'm like, I don't know.
We're living in a society.
Yeah, 100%. I felt it was a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment for sure, where I just wanted to be Larry and just be like, what would we do? Like I just wanted to. You got to go. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're not going back to watch this. Like, he did not go back and watch it. Or he's awful because he sent it to somebody else. Like, he just sent
you couldn't send that to somebody else. You'd have to Dropbox it. You'd have to literally physically have to Dropbox it.
That's a good point. Like, you can't even send it to anybody else. Or can you imagine sitting down and you're like at a place and he's like, I was at Ruby Falls this weekend. You want to see some video? And they're like, I'm sorry. Is this an hour? Like, what do you mean? How long do you want me to sit here watching this? What?
Could be some good viewing at the Chattanooga Public Library on a Saturday afternoon, though. You got plenty of time.
Oh, my God. No, you know what I was doing? I was locked in, man. I was locked in. My books and getting my pieces in, reading. It was great. Little warm, though. They didn't have the AC right in the Chattanooga Public Library. I needed the AC fixed a little bit. Needed a little warm.
Can we... You guys gotta look into this. You gotta find a thermostat and it says it's, says it's 71. There's no way this is 71.
No, yeah, it was definitely in the 70s, and I'm like, this weather isn't matching. I think you all think it's colder outside than it is. Like we need to cool this thing down.
10
Well,
minutes of nonsense to open up the podcast.
it's real though. It's a PSA, folks. If you are at any event, anything like that, and the event's long, like you don't have to record the thing from beginning to end. Take a quick video, take a quick picture. You don't need to be recording. It's ridiculous. You don't need to be videoing this whole experience. Live in the moment. I can't believe us two young folks. I'm not really. I mean, as Ryan points out over here, that mid-30s now. But I'm look, millennial. I'll still say is young. We're youngish. I'll say.
Yeah.
We're youngish. Like we're not doing this, and we're seeing you, and we're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
Nobody wants this.
I second. I don't know if there'll be anything else on this podcast. We'll see where we go. That I completely second you in your opinion, but I completely second you in this. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a bad vibe. Bad vibe. Ruin it for everybody. Ryan, the Vols are favored by 13.5 over Arkansas this weekend. 69.5 point total overall. Does this seem about right to you? Which of those two lines are you more you're more confident in Tennessee hitting like that, or Tennessee and Arkansas, I guess, hitting with the money line, and then just the over under with 13.5?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. I always like to, when you see the line and then the over under, calculate what score, roughly to think it would be. And that's 42-28 Tennessee, which to me sounds like a pretty realistic area where this game could be, or something in that range. So yeah, no side, no bet like stands out to me of like I just love. If I had to take one, I would probably take Arkansas spread, and I think it's a little bit of the Florida syndrome, and this is how I felt about Florida for a while, and it was really, backed up on Saturday when they beat Texas, where it's just like Florida has been really bad because their offense is one of the worst I've ever seen. Their defense is really good, so if they can just get like competent offensive play, then they're a tough out, especially at home. And this situation is obviously different, but to me it kind of feels like a reversal. Arkansas's offense is really good, like it's one of, or at least at the very least a top third of the SEC offense, and their defense has just been pretty abysmal. So with the defensive staff changes, with an open date, a spark with the interim head hog and Bobby Petrino, obviously he's an offensive guy, but just if any of that sparks a decent defensive performance from Arkansas, I can see this game being a tough one for the Vols and being more competitive than people expect. Now, at the same time, would it surprise me if this is some sort of version of South Carolina 2023 and Tennessee just blows out Arkansas and wins this game handily? No, that wouldn't shock me either. As I said, I feel like the line's pretty good. But if you were going to make me bet one right now, I would probably take Arkansas plus 13.5.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that over 69.5 is what I'm nailing. Like I feel more confident about this being more than 70 points between the two teams than Tennessee covering 13.5. That's just too many points with where we're at with this defense, this rush defense, with how Tennessee, I think, is going to handle mobile quarterbacks like Taylor Green here over the next couple weeks. I have a lot of, I don't want to say like worry, but it's just more of something that you just document. Like they haven't shown that they're going to be able to contain Taylor Green. That doesn't mean I think they're going to lose this game. I just think that they had a lot of problems setting the edge, right? Like I think Georgia and Mississippi State ran the ball pretty well against Tennessee, and we'll see ultimately what it looks like. But I just think points are going to be scored. I was talking to my neighbor about this earlier today, and it was just, yeah. I mean, I think Tennessee is going to score at will, probably against Arkansas, but I also think Arkansas is going to put up points. Like I don't think this defense is nearly as good as they were last year. I think they're not as good as they were in 23, somewhere in between 22 and 23, some kind of combination there probably. But I mean, I think Arkansas is going to hit some chunk plays. I think Arkansas has a chance to be effective on third down. I think if they're aggressive, if Bobby Petrino's like, I have nothing to lose here, and it's always like 4th and 3. Remember, this game has some feels of like, remember how Florida was when they came in 22, where you couldn't get Anthony Richardson down. You felt good the whole game. You got off to a good start, but it just, I don't know. They just kept coming, and you were like, they still have the ball. It's like Taylor Green has the ball with a 2-score game in the fourth quarter. You're a little antsy just because of, I mean, obviously they beat you last year, but I don't know. I think Petrino is going to be aggressive. I think because Florida was really good on 4th down in that 22 game, if I remember correctly. And they were really aggressive on that side of things. So I don't know. I think Tennessee's going to have trouble getting off the field. Like until they prove otherwise in this spot, I think Arkansas's offense is going to have some success here. Like it'll be nice getting David Hobbs back, but I think the chunk plays are going to be there. Jermod's not back yet, or like until Jermod's back to really help some stuff on the back end. I don't know. I think this is Arkansas's going to score.
Yeah, I mean, I generally agree with that. I mean, just on the Jermod note, like obviously that makes a huge difference having a guy like that. Look, I think the chunk plays, to me, it's more about the safety play than it is about the corner. I can think of, I guess, 2 chunk plays that Ty Redmond's been responsible for this year. The first play of the Georgia game, and obviously the go-ahead touchdown or the game-tying touchdown. And I think we were all kind of in agreement that he played good defense on that play. So
yeah.
That's not to say that Jermod McCoy doesn't make a huge difference. But to me, when I look at the chunk plays Tennessee's defense, at least in the passing game, has given up this year. It's been a bunch of missed assignments by the safeties. So that's, to me, what has to be cleaned up. But, I generally agree. I like the Florida 22 comparison. I certainly think Petrino will be really aggressive. He's an offensive coach. What does he have to lose? His defense isn't very good. You would certainly expect him to be very, very aggressive in fourth down, third down type of situations and just playing that way. And yeah, I mean, I do think, I think probably I'll call it the most underrated play to Josh Heupel era. And that now you just have me thinking of the Florida 22 game. The most underrated play to Josh Heupel era is Amari Thomas stripping Anthony Richardson down in the red zone. Because I mean, the second half it was just back in Tennessee double dip to go up by a touchdown early in the second half, and it was just both teams were just trading touchdowns. Tennessee would go up by 7, then Florida would score, and they were moving right down the field again when Amari Thomas stripped Anthony Richardson on, I believe, a design quarterback run. And that's when Tennessee got some breathing room and kind of felt like they were going to put the game away. And then obviously Florida came, as it typically is in a Tennessee-Florida game. Tennessee wasn't able to make it look easy. So, yeah, no, I generally agree with that thought. I would just say 69 points is a ton of points. Like, it's not like the line's 60.
I mean, I don't think it's that much, but just because it would not surprise me if it was like 45 Tennessee, 30 Arkansas. Like, I think that's very much in play.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That wouldn't surprise me. You're going over the over-under by 6 points in that scenario. So,
that's true.
It's a very and look, I said this all these same things. I probably didn't feel as dramatic about it, but we've said all these same things before the Mississippi State game, and you look and see the final score and say, oh yeah, it was just that high scoring. Well, game went into overtime. Tennessee scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and Mississippi State had short fields on 3 of their 4 touchdown drives. So. And obviously all that stuff goes into play. Could happen in this game too. But that game was more defensive than I thought it was going to be. And sometimes I think we get into these games. I say I'm really just speaking of myself. And I just think, everything points to being a big offensive game or a defensive struggle. And you kind of overblow some of those things. And it can be a little bit more balanced than expected.
Yeah. Ryan, who has been Tennessee's best 3 players this season?
This was a good question, and it was I'm glad I checked the rundown today. Sometimes I just roll in here hot and don't look at the rundown. There's a couple questions. Yeah, occasionally I just forget to do it.
I never knew this.
But to this one, there's a number of ways you can go, but to me, I think I'm pretty certain in my 3 answers, which is, and not in order here, but it's Chris Brazzell, it's Josh Josephs, and it's Colton Hood.
Chris Brazzell is definitely in it for me. I think there's no question. He's probably number 1. I think Brazzell's 1. I probably go. Ooh. I think I'm going. Colton Hood's definitely 2. 3 is where it gets complicated for me, because you could tell me Aguilar. Like, Aguilar has been. I mean, you have the number 1 scoring offense in the country right now, and a lot of that has to do with Aguilar taking shots that the last and being accurate, pushing the ball down the field, being super calm, collected. Like, the quarterback position you see across the sport right now, it's never been more important to have good quarterback play. Joseph's been good, but like Caleb Herring's also hitting in waves. Tyree West is coming in waves. Like, I think it's more of a collection.
Josh Joseph's been more than good.
I love Josh Joseph. Like, he's been great, but I'm just saying, like, he's also, you had other production. I don't know. I guess.
Well, if it's who's more important, Joey Aguilar.
That's true.
Top 3. But to me,
I just feel weird not throwing Aguilar in there, right? Like, I just feel weird because Aguilar's been really good.
He would definitely be in the top 5. And almost to me, I almost think the top 5 is pretty easy. I would throw Tyree West and Joey Aguilar in there as my 4 and 5.
Does Arion deserve like honorable mention?
Yeah, I mean, he would certainly be in that 6 to 10 and probably closer to the front half of that. But but I think all those guys have been better. Tyree West is tricky because he missed one of the games. He didn't play a ton against Syracuse, but the 2 SEC games he's been fantastic. He's been arguably Tennessee's best defensive player in those 2 games.
Part of me wants to say Jesse Perry somewhere.
Yeah, that's a fair argument. I think he's certainly in that 6 to 10 range.
Yeah, I mean the offensive line, they just all get their kudos because I mean it just hasn't been a problem. Like they're a lot better than they were a year ago, and yeah, and Staley after I wonder what we would have thought if Staley did not have the game he just had, because Staley was trending up where it's like him and Brazel were just a 2-headed monster for a while, but yeah, we'll see how he bounces back against Arkansas. I think Staley's gonna be just fine, but yeah, I think a lot of positives in terms of the best 3 for Tennessee football. Ryan Schumpert, what do you think has been what was the most interesting nugget you heard from UT's scrimmage against Chattanooga on Saturday? Didn't they have another scrimmage today?
Yes, yeah, and that's what I was. I wasn't there in Chattanooga. I did hear a little bit about it, but I've watched them scrimmage twice, so I'll just kind of lump it all into fall takeaways to this point. I think one, the freshmen are, they've been impressive to this point. A number of guys. Cash Williams is one that I wasn't really expecting, and he's been really good. Taylor Tracy's had some really nice moments. Nathan Eisenfelder has had some really nice moments. So the freshmen being really good, and not necessarily just the big name freshman that you expect, because Appenzeller's been good. Ethan Moore does not look like a freshman in college. He looks like he's been in Q's weight room for 2 or 3 years already. I'm also excited to see, it's surely that nickname's going to turn into Emo, which is just an elite nickname. Also to bounce off of SEMO and then just Emo. I think that's an elite nickname. We got to get that going. So that's one of the things. Pitching wise, Arvidsson was dominant today. He threw 2 innings. Mark Hindy, I don't know what I was expecting, but he is just a big, strong guy out there, a mountain of a man. And he didn't have a great outing today, but he was really good last week when I watched. So those would be some. And then I think just I should have expected this because this is how it always is. And I'll wait probably until later this month to make a bunch of observations about this. But some of the moving pieces and where guys are working has surprised me. Jay Abernathy I've seen him a lot more in the infield than I have in center field. Today for most of scrimmage, and it was a 4-inning scrimmage day, so it was a short one, but most of it was Ariel at second on one of these teams, Ariel at second, Manny at short, Jay at third. I didn't expect to see any of that. Henry Ford's been playing third base. Tony called him. He was on with John Wilkerson. He said he was he's like our Chris Bryant, I think was the term he used, which obviously near and dear to my heart. A guy that came up as a third baseman, but then could play. Played a lot of corner outfield spots. Chris Newstrom's worked in center field. Reese Chapman's worked a ton in center field. So all that stuff I think has been interesting. And again, Tennessee. It's not shocking to see Tennessee mix a ton of stuff up because they always seem to do that in fall. Just waiting to see more how things land over the course of the fall before I glean a ton into that. And one thing I'll say, this is not a surprise, but is of note, I have not seen, while I have been there, I have not seen Levi Clark play a position other than first base.
Yeah, that felt like expected, right? Like I think we've all it's fair or not, we've penciled in. Like it makes the most sense for Levi to be first.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've thought that, but, there's other things that I think make the most sense, and guys work at different spots. So to me, that it feels more like they're force-feeding him reps there, that they want that to be the scenario.
Ford at third is interesting because, I mean, if Newstrom can play center, it doesn't matter, right? Like if Newstrom can be that guy, I don't know. We just assumed it was going to be Newstrom, and at third was going to get the best shot. And then, like, where does Ethan Moore? Do we think Ethan Moore starts as a true freshman, or does he, like, do the Christian Moore thing where he rotates in at DH a little bit? Like I don't know. What does Emo do?
Yeah, I mean, I think second base is just going to be a pretty open competition going into the season. And, I don't know, off of a week
do you try Ariel first? And then if it doesn't work, like hitting wise, you go to Emo?
I think Finley Bates is going to get opportunities there. Like, I just think they have a bunch of options there. I like Ethan Moore's ceiling from what I've seen, but again, that's the small sample size. And then another guy that I just completely blanked on in the intro, Blaine Brown's been awesome. He's been hitting absolute tanks, and
Ben McKee's guy.
Ben McKee's guy. And then pitching, you kind of see some of the wildness. You see why the numbers and limited opportunities weren't great last year, but you also see why Tennessee thinks he can be a good pitcher with some electric stuff. And I feel like both from he pitched last Tuesday when I was there, and then the Thursday before I was not there, but Ryan Sylvia was there, so talking to him, and it kind of felt like the same tune both days, where he was pretty good in that first inning, and then the second inning got away from him. There's been some positive signs for him on the mound, and at the plate, he's been awesome.
Next up, Ryan, do you agree or disagree with Rothstein's take on Tennessee's Final Four chances this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a blanket lead-in. He had Tennessee as a dark horse Final Four contender. And yeah, no, I mean, I read the article that Grant wrote with quotes on it and stuff, and yeah, I generally agree with his logic there. To me, I think this, if you made me think, what do you think this Tennessee team is? I would say I think they're a second weekend team again, but certainly I think they have Final Four potential if their stars can be, raise the ceiling and be really, really good. And then if, they can find some sort of consistency from somebody at the 2-guard spot, certainly they're capable of it. So, and I can't remember everything exactly that Rothstein said, but it was a lot of trust in Rick Barnes, trust in the defense, trust in Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Ament. The X factor, I think I feel like Nate's a bit more of a sure thing, just having seen him and talked to people around the program. But yeah. I still agree with the aspect of Nate Ament as an X factor, because there's just difference in how talented he is. He can be good and Tennessee not be a Final Four team, or he can be great and really change things. The difference of him being the number 2 to number 1 player, like you would on the team, a lot of times in that case, like last year, the difference in Chaz being the second or first best player, it wasn't necessarily an X factor for Tennessee. It wasn't going to change their ceiling a ton. That had to be other guys. I think Nate has that level of talent and that potential, that the difference in him being a good number 2 to Jacoby Gillespie and a number 1 national freshman of the year, in the conversation for national player of the year and All-American conversations, like that changes the ceiling a lot.
Yeah, I just don't worry about Nate. Like, Nate's gonna be really good, man. What did he put on? 65 pounds already since he's been here with that reporting. But no, he's great. Like, I'm not worried about Nate Ament. Like, he's weirdly fluctuating between number 1 player and freshman in the country and not. But he's I'm excited. Like, Nate's gonna be awesome. And I obviously kid about the weight. What did he put? What was the report? 25 pounds? What was it that he's put on since he got here?
I haven't even seen the report. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was like a piece on Nate Ament weight gain. Let's see. There was something. Where was this? I saw it on Twitter the other day. I don't know. I have to find it, but I thought there was something on him gaining weight. But that's everybody, where it's like, oh, he's been in the weight room. You're talking about with Ethan Moore and Q, like it's just certain guys. I don't know. I have to go find it, but they're definitely a dark horse. I think no one has any idea what to do with Tennessee right now. I think just because you've lost Sakai Ziegler, Jermaine Mashak, people are just like, I think nationally are more like, I just don't know what to do with this team. Like, I think they know there's a high floor there with Rick, but people don't want to put their name on like Tennessee could be top 4 team in the SEC this year. They could be the best team in the SEC. Because they're just like, I feel like people are really caught there. They want to say it. I think a lot of people want to say it. If we gave them true serum, is like Tennessee's going to be freaking awesome. But I just don't think they want to do it because they're like, oh, true freshman, Jacoby Gillespie. How is that going to transition from Zakai? I think people are nervous to just put their name on it. But privately, you give them some true serum, they're like, yeah, I think Tennessee's the best team in the SEC.
This is such a hilarious take from you, Chase. I'd say one, I don't think people know how to make most teams. It's year to year sport at such a dramatic level. There's so much turnover every single year that it's
you've been
really, really hard.
2 years, and I think you probably upgrade at point guard. I think you're deeper than you were a year ago. Like, I don't know. I just think they're better. I think they could be better than they were a year ago.
Yeah, they could be. I don't think it's a sure thing. But my thing is, I don't get the whole, people are just scared to say they're going to be.
I think they're scared to just predict really Final Four for Tennessee this year. And I think they
there's a huge difference between Final Four and like 20 where they are in most of these rankings.
Yeah, they're just not at 20. I think people are.
But that's my thing. If people were scared of saying they're a Final Four team, they would be ranking them at 8 or 9.
True.
In the top 10. I don't.
20s is crazy. Vibe. Like, there's no chance. I shouldn't say this. I'm putting all this jinx out, and I don't want to do that. But like, there's just
this is great because
they're not going in the 20s. Like, this is a top 10, top 15 at worst team. Like, if they're healthy, let me put that caveat out there. If this team's healthy, they're a top 15 team at worst.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about at worst, but I do think they're a fringe top 10 top 10 team. If that's what I think about them. You know, they
Felix shooting threes, Cade shooting threes.
You're excited
shooting
about Felix shooting threes, aren't you?
That's just Rick, I imagine, is just going to point at the screen, like knowing that I'm watching at home, and I'm just like, no. It's like the post ups we threw him with Felix to start last year. It's like, no, we need to go away from this. This is not a thing. This is not a thing.
But they gotta find some sort of spacing. If we're talking about X factors of what can separate them being really good, is they need to find one of those big guys to be able to.
I mean, it's Cade, right? Like the answer is Cade to that.
Maybe, but he's also working so much at the three. Like
that can't continue. That's he can't play the three long term. He can't get major minutes at the three.
Here would be my question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the backup three when Nate's not on the court?
I think it's probably Amari Evans.
Maybe. I think they have more trust in the depth that they have in the front court than they do in the back court guys right now. That's what some of the
maybe Abram
shows me. I mean, what it gets down to is if Nate's not on the court, you got to find two of those two guards that we're not sure about. You got to have two of them on the court. But, that's the question. I think they like what they have in the front court and trust trust some of those other guys. Probably the other front court guys, I should say. Probably the answer to this is that Nate is going to play a lot of minutes.
Yeah, Nate better be playing a lot of minutes.
They don't have a lot of other great options.
Do you think? I guess it would be who's more likely to play entire second halves in the Zakai Ziegler special? Is it Gillespie or Amen? Or do you think it's both?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get to March, there's a chance that they'll both be doing it. I think Gillespie is more likely.
Here it is, by the way. Tipton edits. Tennessee's Nate Amen has added 25 pounds. I knew I didn't make that up.
Maybe. I don't know.
Quote, the upside is tremendous, and he has added a noticeable amount of weight and strength, roughly 25 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tipton was out of practice, and he certainly knew Nate Amen as a high school basketball prospect a whole lot more than I did, so I won't question him on that.
But yeah, 25 is a lot, man. I can't wait to watch Nate Amen play basketball and Jacoby Gillespie play basketball.
No, it's going to be electric. But no, I think it's Jacoby just from the point guard position and the senior veteran. And it's not like they have a bunch of great answers behind him either. We'll see. I mean, hopefully Troy Henderson emerges as a legit guy that can run some point guard and play some minutes if he needs a breather. But there's questions there, just like there is questions at the backup three.
I mean, you were saying in the group chat, like Gillespie, from what you've seen, is like a blend between Braden Smith and Walter Clayton Jr.
Nice try, Diddy. Nice try, Diddy. I mean, I think Jacoby Gillespie rocks and is going to have a great year. This is an ode to the radio show over the summer when Chase was saying Walter Clayton last year pales in comparison to what Jacoby's going to be this season. But no, I mean, I'm super high on Jacoby Gillespie. I think he's going to be really good. Chase is just going out there and putting some first team All-American expectations on him. And look, that's
Rossi's putting first team All-SEC. I'm putting first team All-American.
Those are different things in fairness. But yeah, it's not impossible, to your point. It's not. I would not be stunned if Jacoby Gillespie is a first team All-American. It's just I just love the this is what's going to happen. This is the expectation.
That's my expectation. Sorry. And it's partly your fault. Like, once you made the Sears and Brandon Miller connection from Alabama a couple years ago with Gillespie and Name It, like, you did this. Like, it's one of those deals where you're like, what have I done? Like, sorry, you did this, Ryan Schumpert. Inadvertently,
the funny thing is, too, is Sears, I mean, Sears was a good player on that team, but you're picturing prime Sears from 2 years ago.
No, I'm picturing, like, souped up Walter Clayton, Braden Smith that you, over and over again, were just like, that's just, I can't shake that feeling. I'm like, all right. I'll go with you on this, Ryan Schumpert.
This is just nasty work. But again, I say all this. I don't think it's a crazy impossible thing. Like, you say some stuff that I'm like, that's impossible. There's no chance that happens. I don't feel that way. That there's no chance Jacoby Gillespie could be a first team All-American. I just don't know.
Can we do a quick one
putting
here?
The expectations on the kid. Yeah.
Can I do a quick? This actually was something we talked about over the weekend in the group chat, but this is a rapid fire off the dome. Who of this group 1 through 5 or 1 through 4 in order of made threes for Tennessee this year? Felix, JP, Cade, and Boswell.
Cade 1. Felix 2. Bishop 3. JP 4. But I mean, that's a crapshoot.
Okay.
No version of. I would be surprised if Cade is not in the top 2, but really no version of that.
I kind of want to keep Cade out of the paint just for I hope it's Cade because the shoulder stuff and everything else. I'm like, we need to protect Cade. Like, keep him out of the paint as much as possible. Like, if Cade is a floor spacer, can do more stuff on the perimeter, I think that's better for Tennessee and his long term, just health.
I think maybe a better question, not a better question, but a more interesting question, more important question about that group. Does anyone from that group, I'm trying to think the right number, make 23s? I don't think so.
No.
Any of them hit 15 threes? Probably is a better question.
Like, just collectively or just one individually? Any of them?
Just one individually.
No.
Okay. If you don't have anyone that's going to hit 15 threes, I don't think you're going to get.
How many did Jemai hit last year?
It's a good question.
I don't think he hit 15.
Oh, he definitely hit 15. I'd be stunned.
He definitely did or did not?
Did hit 15.
Ooh.
I think he got up to 25, 30.
Did he really?
Could be wrong on that, but I think. I'm checking it now. He hit 20. So,
I was going to say, it was close.
He hit 14 2 years ago, 20 last year. So, yeah, no, definitely none of those guys get to 20 then. Maybe one gets to 15.
Ryan Schumpert, PFF analysis. Which Vols season grades are most fascinating for Tennessee through 5 games? Which of the players' stats don't match the eye test to you, good or bad?
Yeah, I think the thing that I would say about that, also, I'm just going to go back for just a second because I got distracted. Yves Pons hit 30 in his junior year. That feels like, again, I don't think they're going to get that level of production.
Wait, Yves Pons hits 33s his junior year?
Yes, the 19.
Really?
The 1920 team. When
That's wild.
He shot it decently that year.
I'm mad at Jonas Adu all over again.
You're mad at who?
Jonas Adu all over again. We can get that many threes from Pons. We can't get Adu in those kind of. That's crazy. I would have not gotten anywhere close with that on Ponzi.
He shot that. He hit 30 at a 35% clip in 1920, and then he hit 17 at a 27% clip his senior year, which is a good explanation.
Wow.
Part of many reasons that team underachieved. But back to your question about the PFF grades. Yeah, I don't think anything shocked me looking at it. I think the thing that just stands out, and I guess this is the good and the bad of PFF all in one, where you balance out these grades, and I think generally they're pretty harsh graders. Where like the two guys that comes to mind, Lance Hurd doesn't have a great overall grade, but he's been fantastic pass protection, and his run blocking grade's not very good. To me, he's more valuable than, and I don't have his grade in front of me, but wrote it yesterday. He's more valuable than what his grade says. He's been better than what his grade says because he's been so good defending Joey Aguilar's blindside. I would say the same thing for Caleb Herring, in which and to me, it's almost more a problem. Caleb Herring has been very bad to me against the run this season, but he's been electric off the edge on third down. So while his overall grade isn't great, he's been a very valuable pass rush piece for this team. And I think, I don't have it in front of me. Caleb Herring's. Do you have it in front of you right now by chance?
I do not.
Let's just say for sake of it, Caleb Herring's overall grade is like a 65 because I think it's somewhere in that ballpark. It might be a little bit higher. A 65 who's just kind of average or below average in multiple things is a lot less valuable than a Caleb Herring who's been really good rushing passer and bad against the run. Which again, that's the good of it. You see Caleb Herring tied for team lead on 3 sacks. You might think he's the best player in Tennessee's defense. That's where PFF can kind of be good because I don't think he is that. But that's also where you can be more valuable than what your overall PFF grade says.
Herring 64.7, 26 on defense.
What a pull by me. What a pull by me. 65, 64.7. Yeah. He's been, what did you say he was on defense in the rankings?
26th.
Yeah, and I'm sure that doesn't have. There's probably guys that haven't played a ton of snaps ahead of him in that list, but certainly he is much better.
There's a
than
couple,
those
yeah. I
20
mean, his grades are
26
getting
to
dropped
29.
down because of his tackling.
Yes.
28.7.
So again, that's my point. Certainly,
Yeah.
he's been much better than that. I get how they get there because again, he's had some tackling issues. He hasn't been very good against the run, but he's far better than that. He's been far more valuable than that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. I mean, I think a lot of it checks out to me. I mean, Tyree West, Josephs, and Hood being your top three.
Yeah.
McMurray, that all checks out. Like you watch it and you're like, yeah, that Aaron Carter in the top 6, Boo in the top 7,
Yeah.
Spillman in the top 10 checks out, Bailey in the top 10 checks out. Like you look at this and I'm like, yeah, I
agree. Not a
like
ton,
it
especially on defense. Was like, oh, well, this is surprising.
Yeah.
T-Lander struggling, the safety is struggling, had bad
Yes.
grades. Ty Redmond was kind of in there in the middle, which again felt about right. He's been pretty solid besides the Georgia game.
Yeah, the guys who have a lot of snaps who don't have good grades on offense, there aren't many of them that you're looking at because I think the offense as a whole has been pretty good. I mean, you look at it, pulling up. I mean, Sham is your weakest offensive line by far with 330 snaps. He's 61.2. He's 22 overall, but I mean, it's not bad. Like it's replacement level, and you've got David Sanders potentially getting in that starting spot this week. Kitzelman, I think is probably surprising to a lot of people that he's as far down as he has, but he's had, I think, a step back year from where he was a year ago. Braylon Staley, I thought would be higher, but
yeah, I'd reverse those two. Like Braylon Staley, I agree. I thought he'd be higher, and then Peyton Lewis, I thought he'd be much lower.
Yeah, because you look at it in the pass blocking grades, really bad for Peyton, but really good rushing. I don't know. Peyton Lewis is just, I have no idea what we're going to get from Peyton the rest of the way. Like, is he going to be still a fixture part of the rotation? Do they shorten it against Arkansas and we go a lot more to Sean Bishop and start Thomas? Like, do you let him work through the pass blocking issues? Like, I don't know. Because remember, Dylan Sampson disappeared after LSU in 22 for a little bit. So, I mean, does that happen with Peyton Lewis? I don't know. Two different running backs coaches.
Yeah. I think less than the pass rushing thing. I just think he's a worse runner than Deshaun Bishop or
I don't know about that. I'm still I think Peyton. He's had a weird start to the year, but I'm not selling my Peyton Lewis stock.
I just don't think he has great vision.
I don't know. He's got the most juice of the group.
Yeah, I mean he's like the fastest, and again, back to the Darrell Sims Greek God, thing. Like,
yeah,
I get why people, the ceiling high and why anyone wouldn't want to quit him. And also to your point, like he's not very good catching the football out of the backfield, so some of those other things, fringe things of that, and then the pass blocking, to haven't been great. Certainly doesn't help him out any, but I don't know. I think Bishop and maybe just more solid running the football is
Bishop is the quote unquote most solid guy. Like Bishop is just solid, man.
Yeah,
I do think DeJuan Morris is coming though. Morris is gonna be a dude
this season.
Next year, no,
okay.
I would buy a lot of DeJuan Morris stock for next year.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
There's a lot of Jalen Wright to DeJuan Morris to me.
I can't wait. You're just going to be running back the Jalen Wright comparison because there was a lot of Jalen Wright. Peyton Lewis was Jalen Wright reincarnated in the preseason.
I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, not quite that dramatic, but you compared him to Jalen Wright a good bit.
I don't know. Not selling my Peyton Lewis stock.
That's fine. I just don't see the DeJuan Morris Jalen Wright comparison a ton, but
I think he's gonna be really good when he's second level bouncing off dudes. Breakaway speed.
I do think he's going to be good. I just don't. That comp just doesn't stick out to me. But maybe I'm wrong.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No, it would not. It would certainly not be the first time. I don't know. We want to get into this this competition, but
I don't know what you're inferring. But Ryan Schumpert, what can the good folks check out from you and the team over at RockyTopInsider.com this week?
Yeah, tons of stuff getting ready for Arkansas. So. Plenty on that boat, getting ready for a big game this week, and then we'll have boatload of coverage from it over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then on the basketball boat, Thursday, Tennessee's in-house media day, so we will have coverage of that and open practice, and baseball was over there on Monday, so I have when you were listening to this, a practice observations and stats from that scrimmage up. And then they have a couple more scrimmages this week. I'm hoping to get over there at least one more time to watch them, and we'll have coverage of that. So all three of those sports, Sylvia's doing a great job with Lady Vols stuff too. So I can't speak to what we're going to have on the Lady Vols front, but I'm sure we'll probably have a couple things over the course of the week on them as well.
I love it. Ryan Schumpert, always a pleasure, and I'll talk to you again next week.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.